Hey lovies, Chrissy Joy here. Welcome back. So today we're not going to be talking about makeup, beauty, interviews, anything like that. We're going to be talking about moi. More specifically, my testimony. Because as some of you guys know, if you've been following my blog for a while, you know that I moved to New York about 5 years ago. And you may know some of my story because I am very vocal about letting people know, okay, it's not all roses and unicorns and things like that. Yes, there were good points, but there were some points where I really was tested, and it was from God. And so I wanted to be able today to share my entire testimony and also share 5 different points along the way. I feel like they're kind of like tidbits. At first I was thinking about naming this like the five survival ways to like really make it in New York, but I also feel like it's not even about New York. I feel like it's for anybody that may be making a big move in their life. It could be for someone that God is telling you to just make a big decision and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Okay, and then you do it and things don't go exactly the way you thought it would be or the way you planned for it to be. And they're just 5 tidbits that will really help you just to understand, not only for your career but spiritually, that God is still in control and he's still moving, even though your situation around you may not look exactly the way you thought it would look or that you kind of planned in your head. Because sometimes we can plan in our head where God tells us to do something, we're like, okay, I know this, I know God is going to do it, this, and it goes the complete opposite. But he's still in control and he's still moving. So today, through my testimony and through my 5 things along the way that I learned, hopefully it can help you. So let's get started from the beginning. In 2012, I lived in North Carolina and I was going to school at Johnson & Wales University for fashion merchandising and retail marketing. And I transitioned to New York in January of 2012 to do an internship at Natori. And I was doing a fashion merchandising and product development internship there. So I came to New York with a friend of mine, Sadiqa. We went to college together and she did her internship at Ann Taylor though. But we transitioned here. I didn't really have a place to stay, but a family member of mine had told me, oh, you have an uncle? I found out you have kind of like those, not really a long lost uncle, but somebody that you know that's in your family, but you don't really know them like that. You just know they're your uncle. That's what it was. But he said I could come stay with him. Thank you, Jesus. But I moved to New York in January of 2012, stayed with him, did the internship for about 3 months. Pretty good internship, but I learned from doing the internship that wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I finished the internship in May of 2012, went back to North Carolina and graduated college. And then from there, I already knew, God had already told me while I was in New York that after I graduated, I should come back. This was the first mistake I made. After graduating, I ended up talking to someone that I shouldn't have been talking to begin with, a guy. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna stay in North Carolina. I'm just gonna stay extra 6 months and I'll save up some money and I'll go back to New York in about 6 months. It's fine, I'll save up. And my friend Sadiqa ended up going back immediately right after she graduated. And it was so many signs from there that New York was where I was supposed to be at. And it was so many little steps I kept trying to take to stay in North Carolina that doors kept getting shut in my face, which should be an indication right then and there. Sometimes doors shut in your face, but when every single thing is like, nope, 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 nope. But everything, I just kept trying to ignore all the signs. And even my friend Sadiqa had texted me so many times, like, Krishna, are you sure you're not supposed to be in New York? I feel like God is saying you're supposed to be here. And I was like, no, girl. Talk to God again. I don't think that's right. Trying to come up with this whole thing in my head. But eventually I had a moment where I was in a parking lot and I had this where it seemed like so many different doors were closing my face, and I was like, okay, God, I need you to tell me right now what I'm supposed to do. All the doors are like closing in my face. What am I supposed to do? And he was like, you're supposed to be in New York. I told you this so long ago. Like, why are you still there? So I was like, oh, okay. I guess I finally listened to you now. I went to my parents and sat down with them and said, okay, guys, I need to move back to New York. Like, I'm gonna pack up my things and I'm about to go. And I remember my dad was like, no, you're not. You don't have any, what are you talking about? No, you're not. And I kept saying, yeah, I am. And he was like, oh wow. I was like, I prayed about it, and I feel like God is telling me I was supposed to be there so long ago. I'm just gonna pack up my things and I'm gonna go. Long story short, they were mad at me for about like a few days, but then they were like, okay, Christian, we prayed about it. We feel like if this is what God is telling you to do, then go for it. We support you fully. I packed up 2 suitcases, came to New York, and from the beginning, God had told me to, even though I was living with my uncle before that, I didn't really know, and it was a comfortable place. He had told me when I came back to New York to move back in with my friend Sadiqa, the one that had been taught to corresponding with me for so long, saying, Christian, you need to be here. And I was like, no, God, I can't go there. I already don't have any money, but at least if I go stay with my uncle, then he could probably help me out financially, and you know, it's probably better that way. Be obedient. If you've heard this statement, obedience better than sacrifice, it really is. Because within the first, I came back to New York, stayed with him. Within the first, I only ended up staying with him for about 2 weeks, if that. Within that time, like I said before, he was a long lost uncle that during the first 3 months, it was kind of like, but when I came back, it was like, it changed. And within that time, he basically ended up trying to like make a pass at me, and I said, which I said, of course, no, like this is crazy, and I got kicked out. And during that time, actually, fast forward, the first 3 months that I was in New York, I had found a church called the Rock Church Manhattan that my friend Sadiqa was like, hey, I got invited to a church, you should come with me. I went for like 1 or 2 times, and I wasn't really like involved like that. But during that time, when I came back to New York, I felt like I was like, Christian, you need to go back. And I tried to ignore him, which brings me to step number 1, which is find a church home and get rooted and grounded. I know some people say that you are so much better having just a relationship with God, and that's my thing. Me and God, we like that. But I noticed that from me, it really is power in having unity. And when you are surrounded with a body of people that you can lock arms with and say, okay, look, if you fall, I'm here, you're not going down. I'm coming, like, I'm getting you back up. It's so much power and unity in having people around you that truly are there for you and that really want to help push you forward, not only spiritually, but just in every area of your life, because we all are doing this together. So God never wants us to do it alone. So he has those people that he places around us to really lock arms with. And through the few times that I did go to the church the first time, I ended up finding kind of like a mentor or leader. It was a small group called cell groups that we were in. And the leader of my cell group was this woman named Rochelle. And she still kept trying to stay in contact with me, even when I was trying to do my own thing. It was kind of like a mentor. She kept saying, okay, is everything okay? Things like that. So when I had the situation with my uncle, I was in a situation where I couldn't call anybody else. I could call Sadiqa, but I couldn't reach her at the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. Let me look through my phone. And God says, call Rochelle. And I'm like, oh my God, but I haven't even really been going to church like that. Like, should I? Let me just try. Called her, and I was like, look, I'm in a situation. I know this sounds crazy. I need you just to come to Yonkers, where I was staying with my uncle. Come get me. I have to leave. Rochelle did not ask any questions. She said, where's the address? Where do you need me to go? She came to get me, and that brings me to point number 2. It is so important to have a mentor in your life, or a spiritual leader, somebody that you can really, that doesn't judge, that isn't gonna say, oh my God, why, like, you didn't listen to God. Or sometimes people just have their own opinions, which everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but there's always that one person that you need to have in your life that you know that is gonna listen to you and give you spiritual advice, and advice that isn't just their own opinion, but advice that they really helped pray about and say, okay, look, these are things that I may feel like this way, but I really prayed about it, and I feel like God is telling me this for you. And that's what she was to me. And she got in her car. She came to Yonkers. She came to get me. And I remember us getting to the apartment, went upstairs, and everything that I owned was stuffed into a closet. My suitcase had been opened, and like just everything. It was just this small closet. My laptop, everything was just in this closet. He like took everything from my closet and threw it from the bedroom and threw it into the closet. We come in, And Rochelle could have been like, oh my God, this is crazy, what have you, blah, blah. What do you need me to do? We took everything. I remember grabbing all of my clothes and like just like this and just throwing it because I just had to get out of the house. He was like, you have to get out. I got all of my things, put it outside into like a hallway. And at one point it was just everything that I owned was in this apartment hallway because I got kicked out of this apartment, and I'm with Rochelle, my spiritual leader at the time from the church, and she was just like, okay, let's just get this all in the car. Let's just get in the car and we'll figure it out from there. Still didn't ask any questions. Just let's just get in the car. We got in the car and she was like, okay, let's go to Sadiqa's. Went to Sadiqa's. I stayed with, which is where I was supposed to go from the beginning. I went to Sadiqa's and I stayed with her for only about maybe a month. And it ended up being a situation at her apartment where we both had to leave. So it was just kind of like, it just seemed like one problem after the other. I'm at an apartment, got kicked out, come to another apartment, stay there for a little bit, and we both have to leave. During that time, I ended up finding a job just to try to have some money to come in, but the job was not good at all. I only got paid, I got paid about every 2 weeks. My paychecks were about maybe like $400, $425 max, which in New York isn't anything. So I was barely making any money. I was at this point trying to figure out where I was going to live because I had to leave another apartment. It was just a lot. And so I had to get my things and go, and I ended up realizing I did have another friend there that was from my same hometown as me, and I reached out to her and said, hey, can I come stay with you? Like, I know this is crazy, but can I just need to come there. She said sure. I got all of my things. Once again, Rochelle helped me to move all of my things to her place. And when I was there, that was the moment that was rock bottom for me. Everybody has their rock bottom moment that things just get to the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. And that was my moment because I ended up moving into this apartment in the Bronx that was like a studio apartment, and it was literally one bed, a kitchen, a small little area in the bathroom. And I had to sleep on the floor when I was there, which that was no problem, it's like whatever. But it was just so many things that within that time that I was there, which was only about a month and a half, that it just seemed like problem after problem. Like the job was just that I was at just seemed to get more and more horrible. It was long hours. It was times that I left there at like 1 o'clock in the morning and then would come home and then go to, at the time I found a stylist that I was assisting, and so I was working on something with her. We had to go to Jersey and then come back and then go straight to work, and all of this work, and I'm like, I can barely figure out meals that are gonna get how I'm gonna eat. And it was just so much. And I would never forget one morning, the girl that I was staying with, Rachel, love her. Rachel, she ended up coming home one day and she was crying, and she had a job at the time, but she didn't really like it. And she comes home crying and she's just like, Christian, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, at my job, I'm not really happy there. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not happy at my job either. And I'm hardly have any money. And I remember us both having a moment together where we just cried. And she was like, it's kind of, we had our moment just to let everything out. And then she was like, you know, Christian, we have to do this together. Like, we're in New York for a reason. I know that God didn't have us just to come here just to fail. So we have to do this together. And I remember at that moment, it was kind of like I have to pray. Which brings me to point number 3, prayer. Prayer changes everything. And it was, I feel like that was the thing. I felt like I thought I had a relationship with God, which I know I did have one, but I wasn't really praying. It was just, I felt like I kept letting situations get to me, and I was like, okay, I can't. I felt like I had a relationship with God, but I wasn't activating the power that He had inside of me. I feel like when you have a relationship with God, there is a power that is inside of you. You have the ability to move mountains and overcome every single obstacle that comes your way, but you can't unlock that unless you actually pray and have faith and trust that God can really move in your life. And I didn't have any of that. I just felt like I had a relationship with God where it was like, okay, I trust you, but I didn't really trust Him. And so me and her came together and we prayed and we were like, God, you have to help us, because right now this isn't working. I needed to find my own place, because the living space was so tight that I was like, this doesn't even make sense for both of us to, like, I felt bad for her that I was like crashing her place. And I said, God, you have to move in both of our lives. You have to help me find another apartment. You have to just do something. You told me to come here, so I know that you're not going to let me fail. So just please move in my life. And for her and my friend Rachel, we were like, God, please just open up a door or something. Like, you have to just move. And within about a week and a half, I ended up, when I tell you, God is so amazing, so faithful. The door opened for me to find another job that ended up, it was at Tory Burch, and I had better pay. I ended up, everything just fell in, now that I think about it, everything literally fell into place like so quickly. And I found another apartment that was where I've been at now for about 4 years now, and everything just happened. It just fell into place. It took me not only just praying, but within that week and a half or so before those things start happening, it's something about praying and saying, okay, like, I can't do, like, basically giving it all to God and saying, I can't do this anymore. I have to give it all to you. You are in control, and taking your hand off the wheel and letting him truly drive and guide you in your life. And so I had to do that, and I'm so glad that I did, because everything changed in that moment. So fast forward a little bit, so things have gotten better. I found an apartment. I have this job at Tory Burch, and things are going good. So for like a good year, I'm like, okay, everything's going good. Like, I still hadn't gotten comfortable. I learned my lesson. I got involved in my church, which was the Rock Church Manhattan. I really got more, built up my relationship with God during that time. I had my cell group, which was, Rochelle was leader of that, the mentor I was telling you about earlier, which is a group of women that can really just, they were just kind of like women that could uplift me, and people that I could just really turn to and trust in. Even though I had my relationship with God, it was like I still had those moments where I was kind of like, and it was like, or that I felt like I was being tested, and I felt like I needed someone to help me. And so I could call these different women from my church, and also from my cell group, the small women, that really could just uplift me. And best part about it, my friend Sadiko from before, she was of course in my cell group as well. And so everything's going good, like everything's hunky-dory. I ended up starting the blog after that year. God had placed it on my heart to start the blog and to really just push into like fashion styling and the career that I really wanted to do. And that's where the next point comes in, because if you ever had those times where you're going for your passion, you're in it, you like go for it, and things, I feel like that with each new, it's a saying that with each new level, God requires more of you. It's kind of like to whom much is given, much is required. So I had gotten to the next point of launching the blog and going forward and really pushing into the styling industry, and also still working at Tory at the time too. And it just seemed like there was other people around me that we all were kind of somewhat doing it together, like with styling and blogging. And it seemed like when they started, like it like took off, like everything was going. And I'm just like, it's kind of like you're running a race and everybody just like shoots past you. This brings me to my point number 4. Don't compare yourself. Just trust in the path that God has given you, in the timing, because I'm a strong believer that everything happens in timing. It may not happen exactly when you want it to happen or when you plan for it to happen, because it's kind of like God's like, okay, I need you to try this new venture, which first it was coming to New York. Second, it was really going in my passion of styling and blogging, and things didn't go at the pace that I wanted it to happen. And God's like, trust in me. And at first I was comparing myself to other people, and it's a quote from, I believe, I forgot who the actress was that was saying that the moment, Zoe Saldana, the moment you compare yourself to other people, it weakens you immediately. And I feel like that's so strong, because when I started to compare myself to other people in other industries, and within my industry, once I got in and started like getting into it, I started doubting myself once again. It was kind of like I felt like I was in a cycle where at first I came to New York and then things happened. I doubted if I was supposed to be here. Then I get to New York and then I started really going in my industry, and I see other people that are doing better than me and going faster at a more rapid pace, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be here, but is this the industry I'm supposed to be in? So it's always about just trusting. It really is. And just not even looking at other people, just letting God guide you and keeping your eyes on the path that He has for you. Fast forward a year, and I have a new apartment now. I'm still at Tory Burch. Everything's going good. It's kind of like finances are looking better. I have an apartment. Things are looking up. I am more involved. I'm rooted and grounded in my church. I have the Rock Church Manhattan. Rochelle, which was my leader, we had a small group of women, which is the cell group I was telling you about earlier. And it was just women just to uplift you, empower you, and just keep you going. Which brings me to point number 4, which is find your tribe. There is a quote that I love that I found, and I'm going to read it. I have it written here, so if you see me looking down, that's what it is. The quote is, "Be around light bringers, the magic makers, the world shifters, the game shakers. They challenge you, break you open, uplift and expand you. They don't let you play small with your life. These heartbeats are your people, and these people are your tribe." And when I read that quote, it resonated with me because I feel like I found my tribe, and these women from my cell group are my tribe. And I actually have other people too, but those were like my main core people, because I found that later on in New York, and just in any time when God is telling you to move out of your comfort zone and try something new, you need those people around you that when you start to doubt if this is right. Yes, it's good. I'm all about praying and just trusting in God, but you have to. It's something about having those people there physically that you can sit down and be like, look, I'm going through it, and I need someone to really talk to, and that I need to hear words of encouragement. And when I look back over the time that I was in New York, and Rochelle and Sadiqa calling me from the beginning saying, are you sure this is where you're supposed to be at? Like, I really feel like God is telling me this is where you're supposed to be at. A tribe member. When I think about when I'm getting kicked out of an apartment, I have everything I own on a floor somewhere, and I don't know how things are going to happen. You need a tribe member. Rochelle, somebody that isn't going to judge you, someone that's going to say, where do you need me to go? Where do you need me to be? Like, let's do this. Like, I'm not going to let you just be here by yourself. When you have another situation where you're like, okay, I don't have anywhere else to go. Rachel, my friend in the Bronx, that's like, okay, I have this small space that is my living quarters, but girl, I'm gonna make this work. And I may not like where I am right now, and I'm going through a lot, but let's come together, let's pray about this, let's trust in God that He's going to change our situation. Pray for discernment so that He can show you those people that are supposed to be in your tribe, so that you don't just let every single person come in and give you their opinion. He will talk to you. He will let you know who's supposed to be in your tribe and who is for you and who's against you. But it's about you listening and being obedient and actually applying the concepts He gives you to your life. Later on in my career, I found my tribe. I found these women that are just, okay, Christian, we're in this together. God has us, like, we're gonna do this together, locking arms. And then I get into my industry, and there's people that are just zooming past me, and it's so easy to get distracted about other people that are doing so amazing, and you don't see your career going the same as them. Which brings me to point number 5, which is, don't compare yourself. Trust the path that God has given you, because it's so easy to see other people and think the grass is green on the other side, but just tend to your own lawn, literally. Don't try to look at other people and say, okay, well, how did theirs happen like this? It's good to be, what's the word for it? Inspired by someone, but when you take it to the point as, I want that, I need that, I want that. No, God has He has a specific purpose for each and every one of us. And what your purpose isn't the same as somebody else's, and he may say, okay, the way your pace may be a little bit slower, but what I have for you, I really need to prepare inside of you, and it's not something that I can just throw in a microwave and just be done in like 60 seconds. It's going to take really getting the ingredients together. It's going to take me really preparing you for the huge calling that I have for your life. So don't try to compare yourself to other people or what may be happening in their lives. Trust in your path. Trust that what God has for you is for you, and that it's going to happen in the perfect timing. So that is just, those are the 5 points that I've learned since I've been here that have really, really helped me in huge ways, which were: 1, finding a church to get truly rooted and grounded in. 2, finding a mentor or someone that is like a spiritual leader that is going to be there for you, that you can call at any time of the night, that's going to uplift you, not ask any questions, but and not even judge you, but just be there for you. Number 3, which was to pray. Prayer changes things, but don't just pray. Pray and trust and believe and cast all your cares on God, and just say, okay, God, I'm not just praying this prayer, but I'm really giving it all to you and letting you be in control, and you will see a change in your life. Number 4, find your tribe. And if you don't have a tribe or you don't see anyone, pray for that prayer. Step number 3 comes in. Pray for God to bring those people to really light your fire inside of you, the fire that God has placed within you. That sometimes we dim out ourselves or our circumstances dim out, but we need those people around us to keep us going, to really lock arms with and say, okay, let's do this together. And number 5, which is to trust in the path that God has given you, to not compare yourself to other people or the timing of the way that things happen to be playing out in your life and your career. Everything happens in perfect timing. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And just believing that the purpose that God has placed inside you and the calling He has of your life, it's going to be huge, and it doesn't, and your timing may not be as quick as someone else's, but it's going to happen. So just trust in Him and believe in Him, and that's what has gotten me to where I am today. And I'm the first to tell everyone I'm not anywhere up here, but I believe that God is doing something in my life, and I know that He's given me this voice for a purpose, and it's to use it, and it's to inspire other people, and to, even if my story doesn't end with me in a huge mansion, like the whole rags to riches thing, I believe that God is still moving in my life, and that where I've gotten to so far can still just help anybody in the same situation as me, who may have made a big move or may have took a leap of faith with their job or with going to another state or anything. It's those same steps can apply to each and every one of us in some type of way, even if it's one step or all of them. It can really help anyone. So I hope that these helped you out today. I hope that you take my testimony and can find some encouragement for your life if you're going through the same thing right now. So I hope this helps, and I have more goodies to come. So if you found this in any way inspiring, helped you in any way, to make sure to like the video below. Make sure to comment your thoughts, guys. I really would want to hear your thoughts. If you're going through the same thing or whatever it may be, please comment below so that I can hear your story. And also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, make sure to continue to live your life with purpose and style.